Alright, so this is what I got going on. Try to recontour my skull. So I got this. So I got two bean bags that I sewed, and I filled them with beach sand. So I got one here on my forehead that's strapped down with a CPAP strap that I borrowed from my wife's mom's 74-year-old friend who got a new CPAP machine. And I didn't ask her for the strap, but she was asking me, what am I doing with my sewing project? And she's like, oh, I got this strap for you. I'm like, okay, whatever. But actually it's kind of useful in the short term to keep this forehead beanbag locked down. And then I got this metal ring, and I tied this, I just did a bow tie. So I ran it through, I have this other sandbag that I ran this is a strap that I cut off of some organic cotton shorts. And I ran it through this little loop that I made on the beanbag and through the metal ring, and then back up and tied it down. So this is putting pressure on the forelock area, downward pressure on the forelock, and inward pressure on the forehead, because those are the two regions where I think there's bulging going on, and also how I would recontour a skull, like if I could just like silly putty it back into place. So the idea with like, if you haven't seen any of my videos, like what I think is going on with male pattern baldness, and I guess I can show my head, but you see where I've noticed this, that with all men with the receding hairline, and infants too, infants have the same growth patterns as men with male pattern baldness, and they have the same skull shape features. In particular, there's bulging in the forehead region. Infants have it a lot here, and men can have it more up here in the forelock area as well. But there's some sort of bulging in the forehead, and that's affecting the growth patterns. You can see where I'm bald, you see that the angle of my skull is like this, right? As opposed to where I have hair, it's flat. Bald, angle, flat. So, and if you look at anyone who has hair, they have a really good hairline. The better the hairline, the flatter the forehead. Flat forehead, flat top of their head. There's no sloping here. Right? There's no bulge here, there's no bulge here. So what I'm trying to do is create that flat, that same flatness that you see in people with good hair. Right? Flat forehead, flat top head. So pressure here. Over time, I'm thinking it'll flatten out because it bulged out over time. I didn't always have this sort of head shape. When I was younger and I had hair, then my forehead was a lot flatter, and this area was a lot flatter. And you can see my forehead. This is how flat I think the whole forehead was. See how broad the bottom of my forehead is? Compare that to the top, right? There's an acute radial curvature there, right? It curves a lot sharper than down here, right? Broad, then it curves. Here, it starts curving right away. So I want to flatten this out, and then flatten this out. Push this down, push this back, and that'll take, right? If you got this bulge like this, right? My forehead's like that. If I flatten this out, flatten this out, then I create this sharper contour. So that contour is where your hairline is supposed to be, and the sharper your contour is, the sharper that change in direction is from your forehead to the top of your head, the better your hair will grow. That's my observation. That's what I'm going with. And if you want more information about why I think the head eventually, for males after puberty, the head goes from sharp contours to roundedness over time and lack of hair, check out my website, hairlossalchemy.com. Watch some of the other videos, but I got all my information is on the website. Every idea I have, every theory, I think it has to do. If you're expecting a scientific explanation, you came to the wrong channel, because I'm done with science. I've been losing hair since I was a teenager, early 2000, basically the whole century. This whole century I've been balding. And the first thing I started with was the DHT blocking stuff and the minoxidil. And it didn't work. I went the science route, oh, what's causing my hair loss? Oh, it's DHT and genetics. Okay, well, what do I do about that? I'll buy all these chemicals and ingest them and put them on their head. So I did all that for over 10 years, and it didn't work. And then I went the natural route, and I was looking up, okay, what's maybe I have this I'm all wrong about my approach, right? I think I was, but maybe something else entirely, which I believe it is. But like, I'm still relying on other people. What is that? What's everyone else doing? Or they're doing this and they're doing that. And then like, eventually now I'm just doing my own thing because their stuff didn't work and the science stuff didn't work. So I'm just gonna have to figure this out on my own. And this is the best idea that I've come up with as of yet. Push it back in, recontour the skull with localized forces over time. And some other stuff. I got that toothbrush you saw in my last video. Right, I'm going low tech, low science. Like there's not fancy stuff. I'm doing toothbrushes and bean bags. Right, that's my channel. Right, if you're interested in outside the box thinking like that, weird. I guess it's not even weird. I think it's just. You know, I guess you judge for yourself, but. Yeah, I just think everyone's approach is just totally wrong to male pattern balding. I'm just going off of my observation, my intuition, my experience, my inference. That's alchemy. Right? It's a science of observation. And it's a science rooted in ancient wisdom, which is this life force stuff and male energy, which goes up, female energy goes down, male energy, right? The rising energy into our skull is probably what's expanding it out. And that deals with, like, we're dealing with stuff on a non-physical level, right? Everyone else is doing stuff on a physical level, right? How do I improve your blood circulation? How do I block your hormones, if those even exist? What do I do about, like, they're talking about gene therapy and stuff. Like, I'm just going to assume all that stuff doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a genetics. There's no such thing as DHT or hormones. Blood flow could be kind of an issue, but there's more to your body than just, like, fluid flow to an area. There's a life force flow to it. And I think that's the thing that everyone's missing is what's going on a sub-physical level. Because I think that stuff exists now. I used to not. I believed in all the science stuff. And then I started to think, well, maybe this science stuff is... I got the impression this science stuff is... a lot of it's just made up. So that's why I'm on my own here. Figuring out stuff on my own. Going with the sandbags. Is there anything else I want to mention in this video? Yeah, just go. If you want like a total, if you just, everything has not worked for you, which just like me, then, and you're just looking for something entirely different to try, check out my website, hairlossalchemy.com. Watch my other videos. Watch my last one with the toothbrush. Right? I think we got a better shot of growing our hair back with bean bags and toothbrushes than we do with all this science stuff. Right? That's what we're doing here at this channel. It's just me. It's just me. Oh, everything here is just me talking. Everything is just me. What's coming out of my brain, or what's coming through the divine, from the divine through me out into the ether, into this realm. I'm just putting out this energy, and I feel like I'm just ranting right now. I better just end the video. It's getting long anyway. All right.